Hi, we're going to get going right off the bat using the wonderful wreath framelit set. When you work with this set, you always want to start off with cutting the centerpiece out first. And make sure all the little extra tabs on the top point in the same direction so you can line up your design easily between the stamp sets and the framelits. So I use my stamping piercing mat for stamping, so I got a nice crisp image before applying with my Versamark before applying the gold embossing powder. So now we're going to cut out the outside edge, and again, all pointing in the same direction so it's easy to line up. And there we have the wreath. So now we're going to start working on the cross, and I'm using my embossing buddy, and I'm stamping onto vellum. And so the same thing, we're going to just add the embossing powder and then heat set it with the heat gun. So now to attach the vellum to the Wisteria Wonder, I am taking some spray-on craft adhesive and I'm spraying it in a box just to keep it off my work surface. And I'm applying it directly to my Wisteria Wonder paper. And now I'm just rubbing it down to make it fully attached with my finger. And here we are now coloring with the markers. And these are small images in the wreath, so using the stamping markers is perfect, works great. A bigger image, you probably want a watercolor or use your blender pens, but for these small little flowers, just going directly with the markers is great. So we are using all subtles. We're using the Wisteria Wonder, Soft Sky, Pink Pirouette, Soft Saffron, and Wild Wasabi. And so now that the glue has dried on the cross, we are using the paper snips to cut it out. And don't worry about how many cuts you have to make. Just do lots of little cuts and it'll come out just fine. It's a little trickier having to do both the vellum and the cardstock together, but it's not that hard. You don't care what the little pieces look like that you cut off, so just do lots of different ones. So this is a softly falling embossing folder, and I use just the top to get the most amount of bumps. And we're going to tape a little Wild Wasabi to the top. Now I cut my banner pieces a little too short, so I took a little extra scrap and add a little snail so I can use it as a handle to hold it while I am cutting it out with the triple banner die. And also when I go to, after I stamp it with the greeting of Happy Easter, when I go to emboss it, I need the little extra piece of paper again too. So a little post-it would work, but just a little snail on a scrap piece of paper works great too. Gives you that little extra handle. You know, no sense wasting the paper and having to cut another one to have it work for you. So now we're starting just to put the whole card together here at the end. So we're using the gold 1/4 inch ribbon, and this is sort of the faux bow where I'm attaching just to the back with a little snail, and then I'm tying a separate piece, and I didn't even do a bow. I just did the little tie, just wanted a little accent. So lots of little dimensionals to bump it up. There's a lot of dimensionals on this card. I really wanted the shadow lines to add some interest and dimension to the card. And I think the Happy Easter is the only thing that's put directly on with snail. So I wanted the center of the wreath. I didn't want to see the stripe of the wasabi. So I did a 2.5 inch circle. And again, we're adding dimensionals so that there is a shadow line to add dimension. So we're going to add snail direct to that to add it to the card. And next we're going to just put some dimensionals on the cross. And I made a little mistake here. I should have put the two dimensionals further apart on the cross. So I come back and I add a third one so that it stands up and perfect. Adds a little nice extra. I hope you enjoyed this card. Thank you.